Well, hello and welcome back. We are continuing our season of building better developers. We are building momentum this season. We're focused on getting unstuck, getting those blockers out of your way, and diving into the new year. As I said, this is Building Better Developers, also known as the Developreneur Podcast. I am Rob Broadhead, one of the founders of Developreneur, also the founder of RB Consulting, where we help you with the technology reality check. It's like, where are you at? Before you take that big step, before you make that big investment, what the heck have you got? Where do you need to go? Do you maybe need to step back and pause for a second? Good thing and bad thing. Good thing is, in one weekend, I had my good thing and bad thing. I went off on a ski vacation for a weekend. The first day was sort of the bad thing, even though it was good. I was out skiing, hadn't skied there before, whole different country I'd never skied in. All that was good. The bad thing was the visibility was about zero. It was basically, there was nothing you could see out there. I couldn't see the mountains that I was in. It was very challenging for most of the day. The better thing, the good thing out of that is the second day I was there was the most gorgeous day I have ever skied, just about. And many, many years of skiing, I think that is in like my top three. The views were gorgeous. The weather was perfect. I didn't fall a single time, didn't hurt myself, survived the vacation, all of that good stuff. And it allows me to pass the introduction on to Michael.
Hey everyone, my name is Michael Malash. I'm one of the co-founders of Building Better Developers, also known as Developreneur. I'm also the founder of Envision QA, where we create reliable, tailored software that helps you work smarter, scale faster, and stay in control. Good thing and bad thing. I'll start with the bad thing. So we've had a lot of bad weather here, a lot of rain, and unfortunately we've had some erosion on the property, had to bring an engineer out, got a quote, and while we can get it fixed, it's going to cost a lot of money. So that was the bad side. The good thing is, though, after talking to said contractor, once they do all this work, we are going to pretty much be set, and a lot of the problems that we've been seeing due to the weather are going to go away. So that is one of the awesome things. It's like a peace of mind. Once this gets done, it's going to be like, thank goodness. It's just, unfortunately, that price tag is just so painful.
I guarantee you this has nothing to do with Michael leading us into the episode we're talking about, but it is one of those kinds of things. It's a perfect example. Like, you go get a VA, you get an assistant, you get somebody else to do the work you can't do or you don't want to do. It doesn't have to be that expensive, though. That's what VAs usually are. That's like their selling point, is that they're very affordable. Or if you use AI, I shouldn't have said that. If you use AI as your VA, then that could also be very cheap, depending on how you do it, or very expensive if you do it wrongly. But yes, that is what we're going to talk about, along with a lot of other things about entrepreneurship and side hustles and building your business, as we continue part 2 with our discussion with Antwon. So if you haven't gotten the first part, go back and listen to it, because I think it'll help quite a bit, because as always, we paused there and we're going to pick right back up where we left off. And here we go with part 2. Now, we'll go a little further afield on this. Have you found, because you can find VAs just individually and, just here and there, and find people one-offs and stuff like that. But then there's also whole agencies that will offer you VAs, particularly of a wide range. Have you found one or the other that has been more successful, particularly since you're sort of adopting them into your organization? Have you found that works better in one situation or another, or doesn't matter?
Yeah, so I would say for us, we've always sourced our own VAs. And the way we do it, and we get continuous VAs all the time, is we will post an ad for our job online on different sites, online jobs PH, and we have that VA apply at the link. So we have a form set up that's in our ad where the VA comes in and applies for the position, and we leave the posting up, so it always stays up. So we're always getting additional applicants for the position. What we will do then is, so we will always have running VAs apply for that position. So then we will go in and say, hey, this is a good fit. This is not a good fit. And everyone that's a good fit for us, we leave them in our database. So if one VA end up leaving or doesn't work out, we've already interviewed multiple other VAs that we felt that were good fits for us. And some of the questions that we ask VAs are, hey, do you have multiple jobs? How many hours can you dedicate to us a week? Do you have any referrals? And then we also pay our VAs on a flat monthly fee instead of about an hour. So then that eliminates us having to track how many hours a person has worked per week.
So that's an interesting approach. How do you track productivity with that then?
So the productivity is based on the task that we assign, every day. So, it's based on a task requirement versus an hour requirement. So, we sign them 3 or 4 tasks per day. As long as they're getting that done per day, uh, that's pretty much our productivity. We're not having to track, well, hey, this person, we gave this task to them and, 5 days later, they haven't finished it yet.
Gotcha. That makes sense. I'm just curious because some people track it differently and kind of try to do it hourly based versus task based, which I like the task based approach better myself. So you primarily are using VAs. Do you actually also look at hiring additional employees as well, or are you just still kind of in the mindset of just hiring the workers you need at the time as like assistants, and then scale up and scale down as needed?
So we've brought the VAs on, and one of the here's another thing as well as when we're talking about VAs. So when I initially started, I hired one VA and I gave that VA like 5 different hats, and I quickly realized that that was probably not the right thing to do. So now what we do is we hire VAs just for certain things. So we have a graphic designer VA. We have someone for doing editing videos. We have someone that does admin work, and that specialty, that's their zone of excellence. So we don't have to worry about a VA saying that they could do something and then they can't. We only hire VAs in their zone of excellence, and that works out a lot of better for us.
So I don't want to sidebar too far into this next question, but have to ask it because this kind of leads to it. Is so with the advancements of the AI chatbots and AI systems and that, do you see AI taking over the VA roles more, or do you still see the need for the VAs versus kind of going more with the AI chatbots and kind of rules engines?
Yeah, so I think it's kind of depending on what you're using the VA for. Because if you really think about it, even before AI came out, they had come up with different automations that could send emails and respond to, different forms that are submitted. So it's really based on what you're using the VA for. For us, I think we've used both. We don't use VAs and things like that to make calls because just of the regulations and everything that that different states have about can a VA call an individual or not, and then you have to get access. So a lot of the things that we do, we still use VAs for hands-on approach. And then I think a lot of the different you know courses and things, it teaches you, hey, you really do need like human people to actually be able to expand, to certain levels.
So what would you consider using the AI for then? How has AI helped your business?
So what we use AI for is we do use it on our websites for different chats, and then also we use AI for just a lot of data research versus actually making calls and receiving calls. It's more just on the data and doing the analysis that we need. It's a lot quicker.
Nice. That's a good use of the tools. Are you using your own custom tools, or are you using just the tools that are out there?
Yeah, so we actually designed our own tools, and one of the things that the reason why is we designed internal tools initially to just help us out, and then we realized that the tools that we designed were really good. So we started offering them to our students to actually build out their systems, and everyone loved it. So then we started offering the tools that we have to other clients as well.
Nice. Are these tools on your website, or are they are they open to the general public where we could go check them out?
Yes. So the name of our company is Skillful Brands, and we have a skillful family of products. So we have Skillful Advisor, which is our accelerator program. We have Skillful CRM, which is our CRM program, and then we have Skillful Projects. Skillful Projects is a tool we use to communicate with our VAs, assign tasks, our calendars. In our Skillful family of products, it's pretty much everything an entrepreneur would need to get going. But we don't promote that as much as our Mastermind Accelerator program, because that is the key of our focus to help entrepreneurs like understand where they need to be. And then they get access to a lot of our tools to just help them out.
No, wonderful.
Because I would say that really, as a new entrepreneur, it's about cost savings. So what also drove us to actually create our own tools is because when we started, before we knew it, we had $600 or $700 in subscriptions for this tool and that tool. And as a new entrepreneur, that's kind of a big burden on new entrepreneurs that come out of pocket for $600 or $700 to be able to run their business a month.
Oh yeah, I remember those pain points. Go ahead,
those
Rob.
things tend to grow on their own too. As you get something, you're like, oh, well, I've got this new problem I got to solve, and this thing's out there and it'll solve it. And sometimes it's like you nickel and dime yourself. It's $10 here and $20 there, and the next thing you know, like you said, you've got several $100s a month that you're not really utilizing it to the level you need to, and it helps immensely to coalesce that down into something that's actually more focused. Now you mentioned your mastermind groups. Do you have I guess two things is like, how often do you run cohorts or mastermind groups? And then do you have a certain size that you found is like a sweet spot for them?
Yes. So we run one mastermind every quarter. It's a 9-week program where we have industry experts come in to talk to our students about, marketing, about structure, about building your business. And our focus is no more than 25 students per cohort. I think once you start getting over 25, it becomes a challenge to be able to support everyone and give everyone the attention for their business that they need.
Now, do you guys meet every week? Like you said, 9 weeks. You do like once each week?
Yes. So we meet once. So we meet once a week on Thursdays, and then also they have individual sessions with me. So individual sessions with me once a week, and then the industry expert comes in once a week as well.
Oh, so your schedule's full. You're not going to be able to expand too much more on that. There's only so much of you to go around, huh?
Right.
Now, one of the things that we sort of talked about once you get to a certain point in growth of now you're getting out of that, like you said. So you put a number to that, like making 10K a month, as you're sort of like working your way up to that. But before even that, like what are some of the things that you see that almost every entrepreneur, you see a lot with the entrepreneurs, that if they just knew this in the first 3 to 6 months, that alone would be a big help to them?
So are you saying like within the first 3 or 4 months of getting started? Is that what you're asking?
Yes. Yep.
So I would say just, starting with laying the framework. I have these 3 S's that I try to teach everyone, which is structure, systems, and strategy, right? So structure, having the right mindset, putting in the right system. I consider a system stands for save yourself time, energy, money. So putting the right system in place, and then the strategy, just knowing and working on the right things at the right time versus, doing marketing now versus doing marketing later, doing mindset now versus, doing mindset later. So just having the right strategy in place at the right time when you need it is very helpful.
Now you mentioned bringing in, this is I hate to jump back to this, but I forgot I wanted to talk about this a little more. So you mentioned bringing your VAs in and make them feel a part of the company and things like that. Is that they feel some ownership? Are there any things that you do that to outside of like you've got a really good onboarding process of sort of how you parcel out projects and tasks, but are there any additional things that you do that are part of what like make people feel a part of your organization?
So yeah, so a lot of times, depending on what the VA specialty is, I'll bring them into the meetings that I have with different clients to make them feel comfortable. When we assign them a task, we don't micromanage them. They have that ownership, and then as we continue to grow, it's an incentive for the VA because they'll obviously get raises and things like that. So they feel as they own a portion of the company as well, and in this theirs as well. So it's just about bringing them in, making them feel comfortable, showing them that we care about them as well as employees. So during our weekly meetings that we have, we talk to them like, tell us one exciting thing that you've done during your like one win that you had during the week. It doesn't have to be business related, but we give them opportunities to share, and it's not always just about running a business.
So, how do you manage all these multiple VAs? I know you mentioned Asana and Monday, but do you pull them together like weekly? Are you doing like an agile shop where you have your stand-ups in the morning, talk to everyone, get them on task, or because they're so task focused, you just drive everything through the tools?
Yeah, so I don't meet with every VA every day. I do meet with my admin assistant every day. And then the other VAs, I manage them through a operations manager. So the operation manager is pretty much the person that's communicating with the VAs every day. And then I meet with them every week, once a week. I meet with everyone once a week. Is how we do it. Like on Tuesday mornings, we meet, with everyone, and that's where we go over our KPIs. We go over, different events coming up, how many people that we have in the company, how many clients, issues. So we have a good system in place that really helps us out.
So I love the structure. Interestingly, there you mentioned an operations officer to kind of help you manage that. At what point did you realize that you had scaled to the point that you needed additional help to manage the VAs to keep things growing and keep things moving forward?
Well, it may not be a place in your business. It's all about everyone's personality. So sometimes, people don't like, giving instructions, or people are not listening. For me, it was a little bit of both. I just didn't have the time to keep meeting with everyone every day to just tell them what task, or I would assign a task and then I would turn around, it would be a couple of days and it may not be done. So I felt for me and, my experience being in the leadership, in the military, that was valuable to have someone that could oversee, different tasks that we had and projects that we had going on.
Excellent. No, I'm kind of that way too. It's like I struggle. It's like you kind of get in that mindset where, well, I can do it myself. Why hire someone? Then you hire someone. It's like, okay, now I'm spending time managing them. Why don't I just do it myself? It's kind of that feedback loop, It's like, when do you let go of the reins? And sometimes that's hard. But thank you so much. Is there something you would like to pass on to our listeners to help them or encourage them with their businesses?
Yeah, so I will say that one, you can't do it all on your own. And then, get in the mindset of leveraging other people's knowledge. Seek out, different mentors that definitely can help you. It doesn't have to be paid. There are people out there that you can definitely research and make connections with that can help you operate your business. LinkedIn is a great source for different business owners that are willing to help. So a lot of people are not using LinkedIn, but they're on Facebook or Instagram. But LinkedIn is also a great tool to be able to find clients and also people that can help you with your business.
Yeah, I love that. Is that idea of, there's a lot of places you can reach out. You can, and honestly, you can help others with that as well. I think there's a lot of give and take that you can get into these groups where, maybe you know how to solve a problem, but somebody else knows how to solve your problem. And, that's what networking, to me, that's what networking is all about, is like finding those people and being able to grow your, for lack of a better term, grow your knowledge base through, getting a wider group of people that is your circle. I want to thank you so much for your time. This has been, as I expected, this has been great. It's been really fun to pick your mind and see where we've had similar strugglers and see where you've seen people with similar strugglers, I'll say, struggles that we can, work our way through. Especially because I think it feels like you're on your own sometimes as an entrepreneur. The solopreneur sometimes feels a little bit strong and judgy almost. You feel like you're almost chained by that, but you're not. You can reach out to other people. There's mentors, there's coaches, and things of that nature. If people out here have heard some good stuff from you, what is the best way for them to get a hold of you and maybe talk further to you about this stuff?
Yeah, so there's a couple of different ways. So if you're interested in communicating with me, you can find me on LinkedIn, Antwon Person. So that's Antwon, last name Person, Person. And if you're interested in finding more about our accelerator program, you can go to skillfuladvisors.com and you can find out more about our program there.
And we will make sure that we get links in the show notes for all of those pieces. And that means it's about time for us to wrap this one up. So thank you so much for your time, for hanging out with us. Everybody, there's a standing ovation. I'm trying to talk over all the loud applause that's going on right now. It's everybody hooting and hollering back there for you. Appreciate so much your time and your energy in doing so, and in helping the entrepreneur community, because I think that is one that it's not completely overlooked, but I think definitely does not get the help and the assistance that sometimes it can. That being said, I want to thank everybody else out there. Thank you for your time and your patience and hanging out with us. Always, you guys are why we do it. Thank you so much, and have yourself a great day, a great week, and we will talk to you next time. Now, a bonus that we do for the video side of it is we like to do a couple different things. Well, a new one we're starting, new-ish. By the time we get this out, it'll actually be not so much. We have a weekly challenge that we'll talk to somebody like yourself. This ends up split into 2 episodes. We get to the end of the week and we say, well, hey, we talked to Antwon this week, and we've got a challenge for you. Now, sometimes we've made up our own, but I think this is a perfect opportunity for you to either say, hey, here's something that I think everybody can benefit from, and it's just some free information to help the entrepreneurial level get higher. Or if you've got something to be a good challenge to throw out there to somebody that is an entrepreneur, particularly a side hustler that's in that, like, am I going to side hustle? Am I going to work my way up to entrepreneurs? Or maybe a challenge you could throw at them this week for them to accomplish that and get a little better.
So I would say a side hustle. A lot of people are doing like retail arbitrage, where they're finding different low ticket items that they can sell online to actually sell higher ticket items. So digital products is a good business that people are doing. I will say people are still selling on Amazon and different things like that, doing retail arbitrage, Walmart. So all of those are good tools for individuals that are trying to start business that may not have a lot of money, right now up front.
I love that. I'm a huge fan of bootstrapping your way into your business and finding a way to, if you can't take the big bite right away, maybe take a smaller bite and see if you can get that. Yeah, because people money isn't everything, but boy, it feels nice when you've got a little revenue stream coming along that you can now say, all right, I can invest in my business and in my future.
Right. And based on your market or your industry, a lot of times people focus on the high ticket items, but focusing on the low ticket items can drive other things, i.e., hey, you have a low ticket item that make a fund your marketing campaign, or they're making fund another campaign that you need funded to actually drive more traffic to your high ticket items.
Boy, that's you're singing to the preaching in the choir right now. I love that, and have looked for those options many times over the years through the various businesses we've been in. It's like, how do we like, okay, we can't get it all going today, but how can we get something going today? It's that kind of goes back to that forward momentum and getting unstuck and just getting something going. Even if you're, if you're earning $1 a day, that's better than not earning $1 a day. And then you can take that dollar and you can advertise with it or do something to grow your business. So love that. That is more than worth the bonus time for anybody that has shown up, stuck around for this and watched the show and looked at our ugly mugs and your pretty mug. At least they get a good looking guest this time instead of the host they have to deal with. So I want to thank you so much for your time. Appreciate you hanging out. This will be, I think we're about towards the end of March, I think about is when this will go out at this point, somewhere where the pipeline is on such things. When it does, as I mentioned before, it'll be in 2 parts. Go out on a Tuesday and a Thursday. At least that's our current schedule. I think we'll keep to that. And then we'll give you links as we get closer to that time so that you'll be able to, feel free to share that wherever you want. If you have any questions for us between now and then, just let me know, reach out. More than happy to help out. And then is there anything that we can do for you before we let you go back off and enjoy your day?
Hey, I just want to say thank you for having me on your platform. I'm doing more of these, so it's been valuable. I know hosting a podcast is not easy. So I know you're always trying to provide valuable content to your audience. So again, I just want to thank you for having me.
Well, thanks so much. That's great. That's awesome feedback. Everybody listening, we love feedback, even if it's bad. We love feedback. So definitely, just like Antwon did, just let us know what you think and where you'd like us to go next. And of course, we'll pass on all the praise that you have for our guests this week. All right, we're going to let you get to it. Thanks so much for your time. Hope you have a great day. And like I said, we'll talk to you in a few weeks as some of these things go out. And between now and then, let us know if we can do anything else for you.
All right. Thank you. Have a great day.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Take care.
Mm-hmm.